Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, the only show that will not be on Destination America this summer. It's Lost in the Midcard. I am your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on Twitter at JBHuskers. And as always, I am joined by my co-host, Matt Black at Raw F Showtime. Matt, did I catch you off guard with that open?
You did. I liked it, though. It was good.
How you doing today, man?
I'm doing all right, man. It's been a crazy week for professional wrestling, and it looks like it's only going to get crazier as we go on in the weeks and months to come.
We almost topped the 2-hour mark on last week's Markout podcast.
It was totally Markout. It was Markville.
We were marking out hard. After weeks of abuse, our pay-per-view preview guru, Mr. Trevor Oz, returns, the voice of Black Diamond Wrestling. He also owns SpiderDuck.net that enables us to be on iTunes each and every episode. Trevor, first off, thanks for joining the show. And second off, do you have anything to say to Matt?
Matt's going to lose. It's my destiny to beat Matt.
Well, your destiny doesn't look good.
We are deadlocked right now.
But the Destiny storyline is also going to be going on for 7 years while I'm here. So
it's Trevberto Del Rio here. He's got his destiny. Trevorito del Patron. We started off with kind of a minute list of a little bit of this and that for our kind of our top stories for this week, and then all of a sudden the doors blew off over the last couple of days, and news started to pour out after the Memorial Day weekend, and hopefully everybody listening here had themselves a good Memorial Day weekend. We're going to kick it off with some very, 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 very shocking news today. The news that was reported this afternoon that Destination America has obtained Ring of Honor. Yes, that is true. Just a couple of weeks after the speculation from Dave Meltzer at the Wrestling Observer that TNA may get dropped after its contract is up in September, Ring of Honor is going to start not, this fall, as a possible replacement to TNA. It's going to be a lead-in to TNA where it'll be starting June 3rd, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. The Ring of Honor show is going to be on Destination America. Of course, if you followed Impact Wrestling over the last few months, you know where Destination America resides on your cable or satellite channel, so hopefully you get it. Otherwise, it is still going to be aired through Sinclair on its regular Saturday nights, and then a few days later on Wednesdays is when that'll appear on Destination America. First off, Matt, before we get into some reaction from some high-ranking people in the wrestling world, what's your reaction to Destination America pulling in Ring of Honor?
Well, my first reaction when I saw it this afternoon is I thought it was because I saw somebody retweet it because I don't follow Destination America on Twitter. So when I saw the retweet, I'm like, okay, this is either a parody account or Destination America got hacked by the people who hacked Jericho this week. So I went to the account and I saw it, and then the Ring of Honor people started retweeting it and throwing out all the graphics, and my response then is the same response now. I was like, holy shit. I couldn't believe it, and it literally came out of nowhere. ROH out of nowhere. And it couldn't be better for the wrestling industry. I mean, it might not be very good for TNA long term, but I guess we'll see where it all goes. But for Ring of Honor, I definitely think you could call them the number 2 national promotion in America right now.
Yeah, especially if TNA does fold. I mean, you can expect a lot of that roster, and of course we kind of broke that down last week's episode. We kind of broke that down where we thought talent would land, whether it would be WWE or Ring of Honor or neither.
Which honestly, that list could be completely different now, because if Destination America went to Ring of Honor and said, "Hey, we liked this guy from TNA," even though he might not have fit into the normal Ring of Honor mold, he might be somebody that Ring of Honor would pick up just to appease the network.
And I can imagine running Ring of Honor is a lot cheaper than running TNA at this point. Trevor, what are your thoughts on Ring of Honor? I would say coming to TV, but obviously Destination America is still not in a ton of homes, but definitely an improvement.
I mean, it puts them in more homes. That's really all that matters. I mean, I get Ring of Honor locally, and that's not really going to change anything for me, but for a lot of people that may not get it, it's definitely a good thing for Ring of Honor. I mean, it might end up being a good thing for TNA, too. And
possibly.
Honesty, I mean, if they're leading in TNA, people might, decide to give Ring of Honor a look or want to watch Ring of Honor and then stick around for TNA, see what Impact has to offer.
Yeah, and Impact has been a good product. I mean, this week was a real throwaway, and we're not even going to cover it. They replayed a pay-per-view from last year, which was kind of ridiculous. But, I mean, overall, the product has been pretty good. I find it quite intriguing that this week's Impact has got an I Quit match. Gee, didn't we just have one of those somewhere? One guy on the TNA roster took to Twitter a couple of very interesting tidbits here. That is none other than MVP. His first tweet was basically, I think, his initial reaction to the announcement, and he said, "At no time was TNA talent that I'm aware of notified of the Ring of Honor airing on Destination America. I will refrain from commenting until after the call." And then he also followed up with a tweet that said, promoters, book MVP now at gmail.com. So I don't know if that was... Yeah, I don't know if that was right after, but Matt, do you have any news on that conference call from today? Anything come out of that?
There are some tidbits PW Insider reported on the call. But honestly, they didn't really cover much. Apparently, the call went over 90 minutes. TNA and Dixie basically told the talent that they're not allowed to talk about the contract between themselves and Destination America. Apparently, neither of them are allowed to comment on it publicly, which really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And especially if you can't tell your own talent what's going on with your product, I definitely feel that raises some kind of a red flag. Apparently, it was since TNA didn't give the talent a whole lot of answers, it pretty much turned into a venting call where a bunch of talents was just like venting their frustrations and annoyance over the last couple months of what's been going on with the company and them being left in the dark. So, yeah, it really not a whole lot came out of it. But I'd like to hope some of the talents feel better after getting to vent, but nothing like astronomical came out of the call. I mean, really today's just been more, everything about today's been more beneficial for Ring of Honor than TNA.
Yeah, definitely. I think right now this is this 3-month or 4-month period, however long the contract is set for. I think this is a big test for TNA.
Well, they signed a 2-year deal with Destination America. The whole idea is they have an out clause that they can basically void their contract and get out of it this September.
Now who gets out of it? Destination America.
Destination America can get out of their contract with TNA.
So basically, yeah. I mean, so there's still kind of a little 3-month, 4-month period where but Ring of Honor has definitely gained a lot of notoriety. It was, recently on HDNet for a couple of years, Mark Cuban's old HD channel. I think Destination America may be in more homes than HDNet, because I know
it absolutely is. It's actually considered a national channel.
Yeah, because for me as a Time Warner subscriber, I had to pay, I have almost everything that's not a movie channel, sports, in all the digital stuff in HD, and you still had to pay like an additional $8 a month to get that, plus like the MGM HD channel, some stuff like that. So
that's crazy.
Ring of Honor is your cable network, but I mean it goes along with the Discovery suite of channels,
Mm-hmm. And I mean, this is good news for Destination America, because they've got a backup plan, or they've got a nice little time slot. The only problem with Ring of Honor is these aren't really huge problems, but they go up against NXT, but a lot of people probably catch NXT on demand, and it's available on demand almost right away after it airs live. And Lucha Underground and the El Rey Network is a lot more scarce than Destination America.
Yeah, so, I don't even get the El Rey Network.
I don't either.
So I do, which is amazing. And I've got about 15 episodes of Lucha Underground I still need to get through. I kind of slacked off the last month, but if you guys ever do come across the El Rey Network, Lucha Underground, definitely worth it. You got to put up with Matt Stryker, but I'm actually not a Matt Stryker hater as much. I'm just saying. I don't love him, but I don't hate him. And I think Vampiro is good, and the talent they got there is top notch, especially with guys like Prince Puma, of course Del Patron, and Johnny Mundo. So, well, let's go from
before we move on. The bottom line for Ring of Honor is this. According to them, they now reach an additional 57 million households. And their show, which has only been on Sinclair Broadcasting, has not been seen in places like New York City, Los Angeles, Chicago, Philadelphia, etc. Mm-hmm. So the fact that all of those places are now going to be able to see weekly Ring of Honor television, there's nothing more you can say than today was a gigantic win for Ring of Honor going forward.
Yeah, because, Philly is definitely the kind of town for a Ring of Honor show.
Absolutely.
So get Philly on board, and that's a huge hurdle. It's almost weird. It's almost like, can we call them indie now that they're on Destination America?
They're not. They're a national They're a national wrestling promotion now.
Yeah, I could see it still with HDNet. Okay, a lot of people have got to kind of pay extra cash just to get that channel, and I don't even think the channel exists anymore, if I remember correctly. So, well, we go from one TNA story to another. This came on the heels of the Samoa Joe show debut on NXT TakeOver last Wednesday. Josh Matthews decided to get a little salty, and I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I went to pull up those tweets, and they disappeared.
Oh, did they now?
Yep.
I did not know they disappeared.
a little glimpse into the behind the scenes that lost the Midcard. Obviously, we got a little outline of things we want to do, and I put a link to all the tweets I wanted to talk about that Josh Matthews basically got in a pissing match with a lot of people on Twitter. And so I put a lot of links into some interesting ones. But hey, thanks to eWrestlingNews.com, I've got a whole list of them in front of me. But basically, a lot of it was that Joe was a TNA made star, not a Ring of Honor made star. I
honestly disagree with, because TNA would have never had the interest of bringing Samoa Joe in the first place if it wasn't for his run in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, you agree, Trevor?
That's just me. Trevor might have a different opinion.
Do you think Joe was a TNA made star, or he was already a star and it just got brighter in TNA?
I would say he was already a star from Ring of Honor, at least from a wrestling standpoint. from a wrestling fan standpoint. Maybe not so much on a national level. So TNA definitely made it brighter to an extent. But in recent years, I'd say they've made it dimmer. So I think it took Joe to finally leave, get in a little bit of better shape, and then go back to Ring of Honor for people to notice him again.
Oh, man, yeah, he looked like he didn't give a shit on the tail end of the, just at least in terms of physique, and now he just looks super jacked. It's insane. So let's go over some of these tweets here from Josh Matthews. I think somebody said he was gonna need to look for a job, or I don't know, or he gets paid in salt. I don't know, but Josh Matthews goes, "I actually get paid in buckets of money. Salt wouldn't do me too much good." I think it might have been a salt in the wound type of thing. Another tweet here. Since I don't have Twitter, since he deleted his tweets, I don't get to see like the initial reaction to tweet. I'm just looking at just the straight on tweets from Josh Matthews. Bitter? I don't know. I'm not. I enjoy large sums of money put into my bank account. Life is good, kid. Oh, okay, Josh. And a lot of it was, you know.
I mean, it all stemmed from him being bitter about WWE referring to him as Samoa Joe. And he thought it was hypocritical because apparently WWE doesn't acknowledge TNA, so how can these ring announcers know who Samoa Joe was if TNA didn't exist? And a lot of people replied back to him, well, Ring of Honor. And, that got him even more annoyed. And he just spent the evening berating and yelling at people on Twitter.
Yeah, the so-called men aficionado. I've never even listened to that podcast.
I've never have, and I never will.
I won't. I mean, honestly, Josh Matthews has turned into a dick.
Yeah.
I mean, completely honest. I mean, just like listening to like Taz's podcast, Taz had a falling out with him. I mean, he just seems like he's just turned into a jerk who just, has a higher than thou, I guess, and. It's like, yeah, I get your towing the company line, but you're kind of grasping at straws, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I can get his arguments about WWE, Ring of Honor, TNA, but I mean, then you're sitting there flaunting that you're rich and TNA pays you buckets of money. I mean, that's when, okay, douchebag, shut the hell up.
The problem is, I used to really like him.
Yeah,
when he was with WWE, I thought he was a really good announcer. I followed him on Twitter, when he got released, I was bummed, and I was excited that he found a home in TNA. But as soon as he landed said home in TNA, his persona and how he acted on social media completely changed from a 180. And he just, I guess he just showed his true colors.
I think what it is he just wants to feel validated in where he's at, and like, hey, this is still a wrestling company that people watch, but it's just down to I guess he wants to feel like he's important in the whole cog, and he can feel important outside of WWE, which he can, but I don't think being an asshole is the way to do it.
No, and we kind of transition from that to yet another. It almost seems like TNA is the little prissy bitch in high school trying to start, drama with everything. Obviously, as we talked about Dave Meltzer's report with the Wrestling Observer about Destination America canceling TNA, all TNA programming except Impact effective immediately, and then Impact Wrestling in the fall. TNA issued the following statement after the report. It has come to our attention that several internet news sources have falsely attributed statements to TNA, its executives, and broadcasting partner. These false statements constitute defamation, and if necessary, we will seek all legal remedies available to us, basically saying, hey, Dave Meltzer, we're going to sue you. Somebody tweeted at Dave Meltzer and goes, so why are they threatening a defamation suit against you and others if this story is true? And then Meltzer replied to this guy with, why haven't they threatened me is the question. They haven't addressed one thing written. So to me, it just sounded like they were pissing in the wind, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. A story that that's been reported by Mike Johnson of PW Insider and several others. It's not confirmed, but it's a story that a lot of people have heard, that apparently the beginning of the sourness between TNA and Destination America is that Dixie Carter pulled a Vince Russo, and while she was writing an email to somebody else bitching about Destination America, she accidentally CC'd one of the higher up people at the television station, which got her bitchy email complaining about said television station.
Somebody needs to take her toy away.
If that's actually true, and she actually did this, she has nobody to blame but herself.
Honestly,
No.
Dixie Carter is the reason TNA is doing terrible.
Yeah.
Yup.
She does not know what she's doing.
No, that's why I said after, if this is true with the email, just take her fucking toy away. You know, give TNA to somebody else that can run it, because you've got talent there, and things have been pretty good for 4 months. And then Dave Meltzer got in a pissing battle on Twitter with Billy Corgan.
Oh, I did.
I
And
did not
Dave
see
Meltzer, yes, this is an interesting tweet here that Meltzer had said. So sad about Corgan. His words are almost identical to Russo about Mike Johnson when he did this story last year.
Wow.
So he's comparing Billy Corgan to Vince Russo. There's a kick in the dick for you. So yeah, what a soap opera TNA is turning to be outside of the ring. How about that, boys?
If only they could make us this interested in what they're doing inside the ring. It's not that what they're doing is bad. It's just, I mean, nothing's bad about TNA. There's just nothing also that makes me want to watch it right as it's happening each week. You know, I'm not like oh, I need to catch Impact Live. You know, It's it's on my DVR. I'll watch it throughout the weekend. You know, I'll watch bits and pieces.
I think the Wednesday time slot move will help, but I mean, yeah, I never, I won't say never, but I hardly watched it on Fridays when it aired. If I was watching a Friday night, I might have caught the replay at 11 p.m., or I would just watch it on the DVR later on. It was just a bad time slot. Friday nights are terrible, no matter what Destination America and TNA wanted to believe going into it. Friday nights for television, it's not good. And here's the funny thing. I tweeted this as a joke earlier this afternoon, but at this point, I'm not rolling anything out. If Destination America really wants to become the wrestling channel, and the great people at the United Talent Agency didn't lock in an exclusivity deal for TNA when they signed this television contract, what's to stop Jeff Jarrett and Global Force Wrestling from showing up on Destination America this year?
Oh man, and with the reported expenses due to the way they film Lucha Underground, Ricardo Rodriguez and Mark Burnett, the Survivor creator, those are the main guys behind Lucha Underground. Hell, they could move it from El Rey Network is Ricardo's channel, so sell it to Destination America. You know, that covers the fees of making it, and they could all of a sudden turn into a nice little wrestling channel, huh?
I'd be cool with that.
It's crazy to think about.
We just don't. I mean, we really don't know what Jeff Jarrett's product is going to be yet. But Lucha Underground's a great product. Unfortunately, it just doesn't get the coverage it needs because it's on El Rey and not a bigger network.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I think Matt only gets it in Spanish. I luckily get the English version of the. It is a good channel. I mean, they'll have obviously with with Rodriguez's. I think it's Ricardo. I've been saying Ricardo Rodriguez, but I think that's not right.
Yeah, that's not right.
God, what is his name? Driving me nuts now. The guy that works with Tarantino.
Yeah, I know.
I know who you're talking about.
I just can't think
of the name right now.
For some reason, my mind's just not there right now. It's on wrestling, so.
Yeah, because
maybe Michael or
Robert.
Yeah, there you go.
Robert Rodriguez. They show like grindhouse stuff, a lot of the movies that he did, but they'll also show like spaghetti westerns and just funny shit like that. It's an interesting channel. It's just a shame that it's not widely spread here. Let's go from all that TNA drama to an announcement by the WWE that none of the three of us will probably give a shit about. But after 3 years, for the past 3 years, the WWE app has offered a second screen experience on Raw and SmackDown, and also during the pay-per-view events. WWE just announced the other day that, however, in this ever-changing digital landscape, more and more fans are turning to alternate ways to consume their content during programming. As such, to keep pace with evolving times, WWE is discontinuing its second screen experiences for Raw, SmackDown, and pay-per-view events on the WWE Network effective tomorrow. So SmackDown, I think, is the last one. Yeah, following SmackDown. And then they pimp all their other social medias that you can experience to continue live as they they post throughout the days and such. And Trevor, you go on. Did you ever use the second screen experience?
Maybe like once when I first downloaded the app, but I mean, I really never saw the point because the stuff you see during the break doesn't mean anything. It's usually just filler and rest holds if it's a match. I mean, it's nothing important.
If it meant something, that they replay it when they come back from commercial, anyways.
Right.
Yeah, and Matt, did you use it at all?
I'm saying with Trevor when it first came out, I checked it out to see what all the hoopla was about, but I quickly lost interest. And when I heard they were discontinuing it, I was like, so what? Good riddance. I just didn't care.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically the WWE's way of saying nobody uses this. The ever-changing landscape of digital media, that means we are not getting anybody watching this. Sorry. Now, I know this is not going to be the case, but I hope to God it's true that they now don't cut away in the middle of matches as often now, because that, especially, Matt and I ranted on this last week, Trevor, but a 6 to 10 minute match should not have a commercial break in between it.
I agree, but I also understand why they do it. It's so that you come back to see the rest of the match. Like it's a technique to make you not switch the channel. So I get why they do it. So they're gonna keep doing it. And they said that they didn't say they were discontinuing technically their continuing live thing. They just said it might be on other platforms. So it might end up being where they post the in between on Twitter or YouTube or something for you to watch live. So.
Or just photos on Instagram and shit like that.
Honestly, I'd be more willing to watch it if it was something streaming on YouTube.
Yeah.
If I could just watch it on my computer screen instead of messing around with my phone, I would be more willing to check that out. So.
Yeah.
All right, our last bit of news of the week is the announcement of the deal for Samoa Joe. It was reported that from F4W Online adds that the restrictions for Joe's WWE contract, where he's able to work future indie dates, has very few restrictions on where he can work. It's said to say his deal is described similar to the one Rhino has, but obviously for a lot more money. Matt, what are your thoughts on this type of contract that was offered to Samoa Joe?
It's unprecedented. I mean, it's something that's never been done before. But if it goes well, this could be the future of the industry. I mean,
do you think this is the biggest thing since guaranteed contracts in WCW?
I would definitely say this is the biggest evolution of wrestling contracts since then. I mean, if you look at this week, the Young Bucks were tweeting at Samoa Joe and said, "We want the Samoa Joe deal." The fact that people are talking about this kind of stuff and the potential for what this means going forward is insane. It's limitless. When Ring of Honor announced Monday that Joe was coming to do their TV tapings in June in New York, the internet just lost it. And very shortly after that announcement happened, Joe sent out a tweet and said, "Do yourself a favor, put away your preconceived notions of how you think business is done, and understand that we are rewriting the book."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how could you not get excited about that?
Yeah.
The future of professional wrestling, starting with NXT, could be changed forever 1 year from now.
Yeah, and
they are legitimately opening the possibility that, you know how Ring of Honor does those shows with New Japan?
Mm-hmm.
I would not be surprised if 1 year from now, Ring of Honor wasn't running a show with NXT.
That would be epic. One key date to look for is the June 10th taping for Ring of Honor. There is going to be an epic match with Christopher Daniels and Kazarian. I combine them guys into Chris Sabin. It's kind of funny if you combined.
No, he's their partner.
But Daniels and Kazarian are going to face Samoa Joe and AJ Styles in a tag team match. How epic is that going to be? That's going to be on TV.
Yeah, it's part of their TV taping.
Is it going to be on TV, or is that just going to be a dark match for the crowd?
They said TV. They said TV taping main event. June 10th main event for TV taping.
But that doesn't necessarily mean it's being filmed for TV, though.
I would think it
could just be a main event that they're going to have and not have it air on TV. I mean, if it does air on TV, I mean, it's definitely unprecedented. I mean, it just seems weird that they would let Joe do TV, because, I mean, normally when you have contracts of that type, like Ring of Honor contracts, let guys wrestle anywhere they want, but they can't do TV for anybody, regardless of what company it is. Because we just recently at Black Diamond had Ray Rowe come in, and basically he just couldn't do anything that was going on TV. But if we were filming it for, like YouTube or whatever, he can do that. So.
Yeah, the flyer, the official flyer that I saw, it says TV taping, and that's the main event. So, we're not that far away from June 10th, so I guess we'll have to see on.
It's June 20th.
June 20th?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. So it'll be the Saturday following that date to see if it's on our Sinclair stations, and then of course Destination America will be in its third week of Ring of Honor programming.
If you want to go by what Ring of Honor has on their website, ROHWrestling.com, they say this dream match is just one bout signed for this huge event in New York City. Plus, our television cameras will be rolling as the entire night is filmed for future episodes of ROH TV. Don't miss your chance to feel the aftershock on June 20th. To get your tickets before they sell out, click here. So,
it doesn't really make clear.
You could take it either way. But here
it could be the sideways saying the sideways way of saying it's not going to be on TV, but we're televising stuff at this event.
But here's the thing: I would think 24 hours ago, there was a lot better chance of that being on television than there is tonight.
Mm-hmm. True, because of the way that contract's worded.
Because of the national television deal that they have now secured. So,
I
could even go as far to say that we might see that match on Sinclair Broadcasting and not on Destination America.
Yeah, as long as I get to see it, I don't give a shit.
It's possible. I mean, it depends it depends whether they're doing different cuts for different channels. I mean, I'd imagine that they wouldn't want to do the extra work like that, but we honestly don't know.
Yeah. That's why it's so fun to speculate about right now, because we are truly in uncharted territory right now. This kind of stuff has never happened for as long as I've been alive and have been a wrestling fan. This kind of stuff it's unprecedented. We have nothing to go off on other than our knowledge of the history of the business and us being able to speculate over the future of what's going to happen. But I just feel like at the end of the day, the future has never been brighter for the pro wrestling industry as a whole. And we might, in fact, have Triple H to thank for this.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be an interesting summer.
I mean, what it all boils down to is that wrestling fans have so much going right now. I mean, they have Ring of Honor, they have NXT, they have regular WWE programming. So whatever you're into, you can watch. And with the internet, you can watch Shikara on demand. You can watch New Japan on demand or live through NJPW World. I mean, there's every kind of wrestling that you want to watch. It's just at your fingertips if you want to take advantage.
Or if you have a Roku, you could download the Indie Wrestling channel and see Black Diamond Wrestling.
Yeah, exactly. So there's so much wrestling. It's
cheap pop.
It almost feels like there's too much sometimes because I'm trying to catch up on New Japan right now.
I mean, you mentioned Roku. Even with Roku now, if you have the Fight Network, you get Tommy Dreamer's wrestling promotion, House of Hardcore, which I never thought was going to end up on television. I mean, it's just the amount of wrestling content in 2015 is absolutely staggering. What we have right now,
and to come and say that now we don't consider Ring of Honor an indie promotion is just insane. But obviously, it's with well due respect with everybody that has come from that promotion, and and Kevin Owens is just the icing on the cake right now. So it's going to be fun, and it's not even just in WWE where the future is so bright and it's going to be just insane for years to come. But Global Force Wrestling is going to probably be on TV as well. They're going to probably have a TV deal somewhere. So we got a lot to look forward to here for the rest of the year, and it's going to be curious to see how things shake out. Let's turn to last night's NXT taping. We are recording right after the live airing of WWE NXT. And this is fresh off of the TakeOver show last week, the Insane TakeOver show. Kevin Owens starts, Sammy's music starts playing, but it is not Sami Zayn. It's once again Kevin Owens trolling the WWE and the NXT universe. And he's still wearing John Cena shirts, so it's nice that he supports the main roster's merchandise as well. He said he is unlike Cena. He doesn't make open challenges. He thinks that people should earn their title shots, and the only reason that he backed down from Joe was to give fans a positive note to go home on, and but actually we all know he just bitched out. That's completely obvious. Regal comes to the ring and complains about Owens taking everyone on the NXT roster out. Obviously he is the main culprit for Hideo Itami, but he denies it right now. It'd be interesting to see who does actually come out as the guy that attacked Itami. But Regal basically said it's all because he put his hands on Owens first. It's the only reason why Owens has a job. And Solomon Crow comes out to call out Kevin Owens, calls him a piece of crap, and challenges. And then that actually leads Owens to challenge Crow to a match. So a little excitement, a little fresh match here for the NXT main event with Owens and Crow, and as always, Owens with a great promo. We get ourselves first match of the night with our NXT ladies. Emma, who is accompanied with Dana Brooke, faces Bayley in a grudge match here. And Matt, you like Emma's new music there?
I did. I digged it. And it definitely goes with her new character. Her old music definitely needed to go, and the mix of the beginning of it and turning dark, and with her new attire and hanging out with Dana Brooke and everything, I think we've seen a rebirth of Emma, almost than when we saw the rebirth of Becky Lynch. So I think this is a very good thing for Emma going forward, and man, the women's roster in NXT is so good. It's something to behold right now.
It is. The match ends with Emma putting on her Emma lock, but instead of doing all their goofy dance shit, she just puts it on and wrenches it like a motherfucker. Wins by submission over Bayley. Post-match, Emma and Dana Brooke attack Bayley, with Charlotte making the save. Obviously, we all kind of called it that Charlotte is probably going to have her last feud kind of going over to Dana Brooke, giving Dana Brooke the shine on her way out the door. We get a recap of Baron Corbin versus Rhino from last week, and we see an interview backstage at TakeOver with Baron Corbin, and then Rhino shows up, and Matt's gonna probably laugh at this, but Trevor, did you think Rhino was a little too aroused when he approached Baron Corbin?
I mean, it's Rhino. What do you expect?
He looked. I don't know, man. He had. I don't know. He was
a bit too into it. Yeah.
I think.
I don't know. I mean,
I think the interview was recorded right after the match, so I think Rhino was out of breath.
He had a raging boner. He had a raging boner. Don't deny it.
A raging boner. It's awful.
We can't tell from Corbin's face, but if he's going to accept another match with Rhino, but I wouldn't mind it. Let's keep that going. Why not? We get the Sweet Boys, Blake and Murphy, accompanied by the beautiful Alexa Bliss. They take on the jobbers of Elias Sampson, who looks like Alex Riley with a goatee, and Mike Rallis, and as you can expect, the tag team champions go over in that match, and Alexa Bliss even hits her Sparkle Splash on Sampson. I'm sure he enjoyed that, don't you think? Ty Dillinger.
Well, finally, Blake and Murphy have found bliss in their works.
Yeah, well, she could cut a promo better than them two, so they definitely needed her.
That's true. It's good for them to have a mouthpiece, that's for sure.
Oh, they are terrible. They were. Oh man, I kept wanting to bang my head against a brick wall when they were cutting promos. But anyway,
Triple H obviously sees something in them. For them not to have given up the titles to Enzo and Cass already. Apparently, there's something there that we just don't see yet. So, yeah, maybe giving them a mouthpiece will help.
I think
Triple H. They put Triple H in a trance with their dubstep, and that's how they kept the titles.
You know what? I think they just put the Sweet Boys over to piss us off. Obviously, they're going to get it.
Honestly, that might be true too.
They'll obviously get it.
That's more of a Vince move, though.
Yeah, but
there's nothing wrong with the old school chase either.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree sometimes. I think, obviously they're going to get a rematch due to the Alexa Bliss interference, and the rematch, I think, is where Enzo and Cass finally get the tag team titles. We go from one jobbing tag team to another to a jobbing singles guy, Ty Dillinger, with some weird-ass hair design on one side of his head. I don't know. He's got that Perfect 10 gimmick that he's yet to debut, but apparently he's flashing it on Twitter, but he's going against the number one contender, Finn Balor, so that really didn't last too long. And just a couple minutes into the match, the coup de grace crushes Ty Dillinger. We go from Ty Dillinger to his former tag team partner, Jason Jordan, shown backstage. He says he's found a new partner, and I think he found himself a promo coach because he's finally doing a little better in the charisma department than he was with the tag team with Ty Dillinger. And Chad Gable says, hey, I'm your partner, I'm your man, but Jordan says, no, I got somebody. So, Trevor, any ideas on who you think might be tagging with Jason Jordan?
I don't think I care yet.
You don't care yet? Matt? Yeah, go ahead, Trevor.
I was going to say, in all honesty, we didn't care about Jason Jordan and Ty Dillinger when they were a team, because really they were just a jobber team. So when they broke them up, it was like, oh, well, who cares about these guys as singles? Ty Dillinger just, basically lost in 2 minutes to Finn Balor. So neither of them are important at all. At least there was never really a blow-off between those two either. So no, not that anybody cares to see one. That's the thing. Maybe if they give him a good partner and they, it has potential to be something. Possibly, but we'll see.
Matt, do you know much about this Chad Grable guy?
I don't, but the stupid towel with his name on it, all I could think of was, I don't know if you guys remember him, but Ricky Ortiz.
God.
The guy with the rally towel back in the day. That's immediately who I thought of when I saw him with the towel with his name on it. So I don't know if that's a good omen for this guy or not.
I do thought it was funny when he gave Jason Jordan the towel, though. Main event, I was excited for the main event, but it was just a Kevin Owens ass beating. Solomon Crow lost with the pop-up powerbomb. Owens tried to attack Crow on the outside, but lo and behold, Samoa Joe shows up, gets in his face. Owens decides to not get physical this time, but warns Joe that next time he's not going to be so lucky. I was a little disappointed that we didn't get a competitive Crow and Owens match, but when you look at it, the hindsight, I guess it makes sense because Owens just tearing through everybody.
Yeah, I definitely thought it was... Sorry, Trevor.
I was going to say, it makes sense to let Owens continue on his reign of destruction right now to push him up, especially since he's going into a match with John Cena on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Crow hasn't really had a feud to really speak of. CJ Parker doesn't count. Sorry there, Hippie Boy.
Hippie Boy got more offense than the Crow did.
Yeah, Hippie Boy got a bust open the hard way there.
Broke his nose.
And they'll probably show that night for the rest of Kevin Owens' career, basically, because him and Sami Zayn are definitely not going to be fighting. They're definitely going to have a lot of fights down the line, let's just say. Smackdown, not much really happening this week. The biggest thing to take away was a four corners match for the tag team. 4 of the 6 tag teams in the Elimination Chamber match. The Ascension, Lucha Dragons, Kid and Cesaro, Los Matadores. Fairly good match, pretty good match, as most SmackDown matches are, as they do get the time to shine most of the times. Lucha Dragons win there, so we'll have to see if that gives any momentum or a D-push in our predictions here at the end of the show. Other than that, not really much happening outside of Paige calling Tamina a man. The Mega Powers are still together, even though they kind of forgot about them after their initial put together. And then we got ourselves a pretty good main event with Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt, where Ambrose gets his win back. Let's go to Monday Night Raw, and oh my God, guys, this is something I've never seen before. The Authority starts off Monday Night Raw.
Shocker.
What? Wow. I mean, they're mixing it up.
Yeah, so you bring that up, and it's something I brought up tonight on Twitter. And there's some people out there that don't agree, but whatever with them. You can do an opening promo on a show that lasts 10 to 15 minutes, and it can be good, and it can be entertaining, and you can be sucked in, and you can have fun with it. But WWE takes the opening promo on Raw every week, and it's the same damn thing. It's always either a member of the Authority or John Cena opening the show every single week. And it's always the same cut and dry copy and paste formula that's just gotten bored. It's not about who's doing it. It's about how it's written and how it's presented. And it's just done right on NXT. Whereas, they're not putting any effort into making it feel fresh on the main roster.
Yeah, and the one thing that they've really lacked, granted it's only a 2-week build-up, but there's been jack shit of a build-up for the IC title match inside the Elimination Chamber. Give us an opening promo there with those guys. Something, or a match. I mean, give us a damn title match to start off the night. Something different. And I agree. It's good every once in a while, but I think Vince is stuck in his ways to where it was awesome in the Attitude Era. I mean, how many times did Triple H lead off the show when he's wrestling? A lot.
Yeah.
And me and my buddies made the same fun of that as we do with the Authority now, And so, basically the gist out of the whole 20 minutes of promo time on the opening was the fact that Dean Ambrose has to sign a contract by the end of the night in order for the match at Elimination Chamber to go down. Oh, gee, how many of you, Trevor, Matt, were you guys scared that Ambrose may not sign that contract?
I didn't even pay attention to the promo, nor did I care. So
it was so damn hokey.
I mean,
honestly,
yeah.
It was a really lame storyline.
You give us a main event
to get through the 3-hour program. It was just, it was really, it's those type of storylines that just feel like they're attempting to insult my intelligence, and I don't really appreciate that.
Well, they do that a lot, so I'm
very
surprised
good at that. But hey, Matt, as Vince would say, you don't know you want it, but that's what you want.
Yeah, thanks, pal.
God damn it, you're gonna love it.
So
tag match that leads into Promo Fest at the beginning, leads to a tag match that I don't think we've ever seen before either. Seth Rollins and Kane against Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns.
My God, if they would they just fucking stop with any combination of Kane in a tag match or Kane on TV in a match.
The
Kane,
best thing,
Kane versus Roman Reigns. Like I kind of like the subtle stuff with Kane and Seth Rollins.
Yeah,
but they need to fucking pull the trigger on it real quick because
I think they
getting
decided
a little
not
long
to.
in the tooth.
Yeah, I think they decided not to pull the trigger because they've been getting along the last 2 weeks.
I kind of think they did too.
And the problem is Kane is so much better on the microphone, not wrestling.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to keep him as the director of operation, he shows some range. He's good at that. He can be entertaining, and we don't need the dude in the ring. Honestly, WWE's product has been a lot better the past month, and you know why? Because the Big Show hasn't been on TV.
Yeah, but he's about to come back, so post-Elimination Chamber, we'll see Big Show back, and we'll see Roman Reigns and Big Show again, or Roman Reigns and Kane, or Roman Reigns and the Stooges, or Roman Reigns and whoever the fuck else we don't want to see Roman Reigns wrestle. I mean,
that's why it was fresh tonight with NXT, where Kevin Owens fought Solomon Crow. It was something that them two never even had a promo together in the ring, so until tonight. So there's ways to make it fresh, and they are sure as hell not doing it. The best thing about that tag match was the mention of Barry Horowitz.
Yeah, I don't think I even watched the tag match because I watched.
You knew what was going to happen.
I time shifted Raw like something heavy this week, and I just skipped right past it.
The cast of Entourage is at Raw tonight.
Entourage.
Dean Ambrose, Entourage. I don't. Yeah, I hooked on phonics works for me.
One of the worst things they could have done is have them show up in the limo. Because I'm trained as a wrestling fan that anytime a limo shows up in the middle of a show, it's supposed to be somebody big or important, and it's the Entourage guys. And I was just like, come on.
Hey man, Adrian Grenier has not done anything since that show's been over. So, I honestly, it would have came off better had the limousine blown up.
It was probably his first It was probably his first limousine ride ever. Where are we at now? Oh yes, Dean Ambrose getting interviewed by his girlfriend. Can you feel the sexual tension? Noble and Mercury Noble and Mercury show up to talk shit, and Jamie Noble said, "Slap my head and call me Sally," and that was probably one of the best parts of the night, where
I agree.
Ambrose called him Sally, and he slapped him on the head. The cameraman gets in a little close. We'll get a little more insight into that later, but Ambrose knocks down the camera guy. Oh, God, do we see an arrest coming? Guys, do we see an arrest coming?
It feels like this whole storyline has some Arrested development going on.
It's like Austin 2.0 right here.
No, because if this storyline would have been presented to Austin, he'd have told WWE to go fuck themselves, and he would have went home.
No, and
hell no!
Austin would have purposely stunned the cameraman and
what?
said "screw you" and got arrested on purpose.
What?
He'd have been fighting the arrest as it was happening. That's what would have happened.
He would have stunned Terry Taylor before the script even got to him.
I ain't through with you, Seth. I ain't through with you, not by a long shot.
The video.
Stone Cold book it.
Oh God, Geez. Video package showing us Kevin Owens that we've all seen before because we're all NXT fans, but a great way to kind of get the main audience, the core audience, introduced to Kevin Owens, because this guy is going to be around for a long time, and this guy fucking kicks ass. Rusev comes out. No more Russia for him. He's the Bulgarian brute, wearing the Bulgarian colors, waving the Bulgarian flag, and
I don't give a Bulgarian shit.
And what kind of shit is a Bulgarian shit?
They've castrated Rusev.
Yeah, they did.
Well,
and I'm hearing he might not even. I'm hearing, spoiler alert.
Okay.
The man might not even be in the Elimination Chamber on Sunday.
He is. Smackdown tapings. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if that's the case, yeah, I mean, if it's as bad as it sounds, I guess you're sticking Bray Wyatt in the chamber, man. Because I don't know who else they're going to throw in there, because they should have put Neville in there over R-Truth to begin with. Dude, no, you shut your mouth. You shut your damn mouth. No. Look,
so Big
the only way it would work for Big Show to be in the chamber is if he got himself injured while he was in there, and we didn't have to see him for 6 months.
Or he couldn't get out of the chamber because he's too fucking big.
Oh,
maybe he should just retire and we don't see him forever.
Please retire.
Rusev would have been castrated if he lost the match to R-Truth.
He's.
I mean, he's still squashing dudes, but like, where does he go from here? He fights for the.
Apparently.
I mean, obviously he's not going to win the Intercontinental title now.
No, but I mean,
no, honestly, I was hoping he was going to.
Did you guys?
But now there's no chance.
Did you guys at least think the promo with him and Lana was pretty solid? I thought it was pretty good.
It made him look.
The work's solid. It's just I just don't care, you know. I mean, because even after this, like, what are they going to have Lana do? Lana's going to be with Dolph Ziggler as a face manager. No, like, face managers aren't interesting at all. It's not going to go anywhere.
No, and I honestly thought she was just going to screw Ziggler at like Money in the Bank or something.
That's kind of what I was thinking too, but
dirty Americans. But you know, this is the case where the WWE doesn't need to listen to the WWE universe. You know, they definitely needed to with Daniel Bryan, but yeah, I mean, they're chanting for Lana, but they don't, you know, you don't need to turn her face just because they chant "We want Lana."
I mean, honestly, they're just chanting for that ass.
Yeah, that ass, them legs too.
Yeah.
She needs to put that hair down though. Maybe she'll join the Primetime Players. You know,
the issue with Lana is unless she's going to eventually step in the ring, I feel she's almost reached her peak of what she can do with the company.
Yeah, and
that's sad because I like her. She's awesome. She's got a great look. She's got the charisma for days. But if she's not willing to step in the ring and wrestle, I don't really know what much is left for her to do.
Yeah, and word was that she has a no contact clause, and a lot of people were surprised at the bump she took at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I don't buy that she has a no bump clause. I think that's the biggest load of bullshit I've ever heard. I've never heard that before. I've never heard that in anybody's contract.
Well, if she ever starts to get stale, we just put the body paint on her titties.
It's PG air, brother. That ain't gonna work.
Yeah,
body paint.
Yeah.
Hey, if it can be on the Sports Illustrated, it can be on a PG show.
Not necessarily true.
Okay, whatever. I was trying to make a point, but oh well.
Well, your point was wrong.
Just because it technically could be on a PG show doesn't mean Vince will put it on a PG show.
It's not wrong. It's all right.
All right.
Dean Ambrose in the locker room, and you got Triple H and Rollins and the camera guy. I mean, indie wrestler dude. The camera guy was kind of hesitant to press charges because he said, he felt somebody kind of shove him from behind, kind of shutting him up. So the cops arrest Ambrose, read him his Miranda rights, and off they go because they like cuffing people on Raw. Apparently, it'd been a long time since Stephanie was cuffed. Not really.
I did find it funny when Dean says, "I already know them. I already know them. I've heard these before."
He has heard, and that's true. That's a straight shoot right there. Further proof that the lead up to the Intercontinental Elimination Chamber match has been shitty. King Barrett, as typical with any King of the Ring, is starting to do the jobs again. And him and Ryback get a whopping 4-minute match. You'd almost think that the Divas were in this chamber match because they have really pushed this 0.
Dude, I'd like to see a Divas chamber match.
Yeah, it'd be epic. I mean, hell, we got...
You throw the NXT girls in there?
Yeah, dude, if you bring them up, hell yeah, do it.
I think that it would be nuts.
I was begging for the tag teams to do it for something new, and they did it. So next year you get the Divas in there. That would be fucking epic.
Yeah, bring up Charlotte, Sasha, and Becky, and Bayley, and fucking throw them in there.
Yeah, throw them in there with like Paige and Nikki Bella.
Yeah.
And I think the 6 of them could just tear the house down in a match like that.
Dude, it would be main event caliber.
Yeah.
In all honesty.
We get segment number 85 of the Night with the Authority.
Yeah, you love my segments.
The guys from Entourage show up, and the best part about it is Jerry Ferrara mentioning Ronda Rousey and asking Stephanie if she got hurt at WrestleMania. Except for that wasn't scripted, right? Right. Anyways,
wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We're still hoping to get Ronda Rousey for WrestleMania 32.
Yes, we're still. Triple H is sucking one titty, Steph sucking the other one to try to get her to WrestleMania 32.
Wow!
Oh!
He didn't just
all right.
That.
I mean, I'll take over that job for them if they want.
Yeah, I mean, jeez. Stardust's continuous fall continues in a match against Neville. Apparently he gets in the face with Stephen Amell from Arrow. Don't know if there's any kind of follow-up to this outside. The guy's a real huge wrestling fan, so probably just a one-off because Stardust is probably going to disappear pretty soon.
The guy's gone on record that he's willing to wrestle a match. Like, he's been begging to do something with WWE for a long time. Like, he's a ridiculously huge wrestling fan.
That'd be cool.
And apparently he does majority of all his own stunts on the Arrow show. So, I mean, I could see them doing some big publicity stunt with him and Stardust at, like, SummerSlam or something.
Yeah, they need something with Stardust because he was kind of a random throw-in for the Intercontinental ladder match at WrestleMania. He's just been kind of pissing in the wind since they broke up him and Goldust. So, either make him Cody or do something. Got to do something. Once again, we get a little longer match here with 2 Intercontinental participants for the Chamber match. Sheamus and Dolph Ziggler reigniting their feud here on Raw. Thanks to Rusev getting in the way. Ziggler super kicks Rusev on the apron, but then walks right into a brogue kick after a 10-minute match. Not a bad match there. They've obviously had better matches, but compared to the rest of the Intercontinental title build, that was pretty damn good compared to what else they've been doing. So, but like I said, I think it's going to be a good match. It's just like Extreme Rules, shitty build, probably going to be a good match. It's shit like that. We get the United States Open challenge here by John Cena. Now, speaking of repetitive, can we get rid of the 7-minute John Cena diatribes now?
Yeah, I wish he didn't do like a long ass promo before every Open challenge. Like, we get it,
it's
John.
It's the same fucking promo every time.
It really is. I mean, honestly, he 1 week. I mean, even if it's just for 1 week, just have him come out and be like, "You guys know what I'm here for. If you want some, come get some," and then that's it. Yeah. That's all he says.
Yeah,
I mean,
agree.
open up a Raw just like that.
Dude, it'd be awesome. Like, Like, it would be something different. I agree with that.
And something we haven't mentioned yet here tonight, this is the last time the WWE is going to be in the Nassau Coliseum, a definitely famous venue for wrestling, as they are going to tear down the Nassau Coliseum here sometime this year. So this was the last time WWE is going to be there. So for the Open Challenge, who other to come out than Zack Ryder, the perfect guy to come out for the U.S. Open Challenge. Great pop for Zack Ryder. Thank God people still remember him, because the WWE is trying to make you forget him. Just wish we could have got a little better. I mean, Ryder had some.
I wish we could have cut the promo and given these guys a little bit more time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there were some near falls and some believable stuff. And what the hell is Zack Ryder trying to do a 450 for?
Dude, if he would have hit it, that would have been dope.
Oh man, the crowd would have went fucking nuts. Just like when Neville hit the red arrow on Cena. But hopefully, we saw Ryder do a backstage interview during TakeOver. They aired that on the Wednesday, this week's NXT. So we don't know if Ryder's going to now be a staple on NXT to kind of get a reboot or what. But I think at least now they're doing something with Ryder, which is phenomenal, don't you think?
It worked for Tyson Kidd.
Yeah,
great point. Absolutely.
And Ryder's 27, maybe 28, maybe 29 at the biggest, but he's in his 20s still. He's him and Cody Rhodes are still real young, and that was kind of the benefit of them coming in at an early age. Is once your kind of initial shines of what they did in the main roster kind of wear out, and you kind of try to find your main direction of who you're going to be for your career. That's where these guys, it's nice because they still got some time on their side, and the WWE hasn't given up on them yet. John Cena wins by, of course, no surprise, because he's got to have that championship match, champion versus champion match against Kevin Owens at Elimination Chamber. But it was still some good close falls for Ryder. Got his offense in. In the end, Cena gives Ryder his props, and the cast of Entourage comes in, and all of them take a bow. And so be curious to see where we go with Zack Ryder from here. Obviously, we know what's going to happen with John Cena this weekend. And then, hey, everybody leaves the ring, and lo and behold, Kevin Owens comes out of nowhere. I don't know how Kevin Owens can come out of nowhere with that guy, but he surprise attacks John Cena with another pop-up powerbomb, stepping on the U.S. title to show that he is a good asshole and proud of it. Look, Triple H and Stephanie with Seth Rollins. They blab about something. Anyways.
Oh, you also don't forget Kevin Owens' brand new T-shirt, brand new gear.
New shorts too.
Yeah, that's what I said. New gear. Everything about him was like a cosmetic makeover, I guess you could say. It definitely seems to me like they're getting this dude ready for the main roster.
Yeah. Well, I told you SummerSlam, and that prediction got beat by 3 months for his pay-per-view debut. I'm not saying he's on the main roster yet, but what do you think?
You say right now as we stand, do you say Kevin Owens will be on SummerSlam?
Yes, I still think so. I thought he was going to be there as a one-off, kind of like with Elimination Chamber, but now I'm more convinced he might be main. He might lose to Finn Balor and just shoot right up into the main roster. He's ready. I see the arguments where Sami Zayn sat there for so long, where he was clearly ready, but where Sami Zayn had to kind of completely rework himself because he was so used to never cutting a promo, never having facial expressions because he wore a mask. He had to redo himself, where Kevin Owens is an asshole and still is an asshole and is a great asshole. And speaking of assholes, our pay-per-view, as we always do, our pay-per-view special the Monday after a pay-per-view. So this coming Monday, our top 5 is going to be the top 5 greatest assholes in the WWE, past and present and future. So that'll be fun to go over. Well, But there's going to be one guy that's the future on there, and that's the guy we've been talking about. We get ourselves Paige versus Tamina. Boy, that was some sloppy shit.
What the hell was that?
Oh, Tamina did not look good.
What was the point of putting Tamina over one of the title contenders?
And she looked like shit in the ring. She couldn't.
She has not looked good at all since she's been back.
No, she couldn't keep up with Paige at all. It looked like she was a step behind the whole way. Ugly 3-minute match. Obviously, just putting the heel over in the match. We'll have to see what the three of us think on who's going to win that triple threat for the Divas title match coming up. New Day comes out for a promo, and they are still bitching about the fact that they got to face 5 other teams for their tag team titles. They also berate the New Jersey, saying that the Nassau Coliseum is a dump. It probably is a dump, but hey, it's a historic dump, damn it. Kane shows up as the director of operations, and this must be Face Kane because he puts a New Day in a 10-on-3 handicap match. But that handicap match lasted for about a minute, and basically everybody fights each other just kind of like they have been. Like almost like the Intercontinental title match for Elimination Chamber. They're just stirring up the pot with random shit until the time comes where we're actually going to get some good action. So thankfully, that time is coming on Sunday. Daniel Bryan, new DVD coming out. I think that one's going to be epic, boys.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I don't know how much of his indie time is going to be in that DVD. Do you guys know?
I'm not sure. I think it's just going to heavily cover his WWE career. But I guess we'll see. They
showed some indie stuff like in their little commercial for it, but yeah, it'll be hard to tell. Hey, another segment with the Authority, because we haven't seen them at all tonight on Monday Night Raw. Basically standing there with the contract saying, "Where's Ambrose?" But there was some secret footage of some random guy, probably the same guy that had the fancy camera phone with 3 million megapixels at the NXT TakeOver event when Hideo Itami got attacked. He was filming Seth Rollins pushing the camera guy into Dean Ambrose, which basically says, "Hey, the cops are letting him go." But you know, the Authority doesn't know that quite yet. They are set to announce that, time's up for Dean Ambrose to sign the contract. Roman Reigns comes out to kind of stall things and attacks the Authority, but the Authority gets the upper hand, and then we hear some police sirens, and here comes Stone Cold! I mean, Dean Ambrose in a fancy old paddy wagon wearing a police outfit. Even though it was real Stone Cold-esque with the vehicle, I still thought it was pretty cool to see Dean dressed up as a cop with a nightstick, don't you think?
I'll let Trevor
they'll shoehorn him into a big boss man gimmick.
Well, as long as they don't hang him from a noose on top of Hell of a Cell, we'll be okay.
I mean, that could come... they're not going to do that.
Nah, not in the PG world. I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool moment. Even though we've seen it before with Ambrose, it was still kind of his own thing. But yeah, overall, pretty lackluster Raw because I think the Authority took up 2/3 of it.
Yeah, it was.
It was alright.
They were on fire.
It was not
on fire for.
Valve.
Now they were on fire for a few weeks, and now they're kind of pissing in the wind until the pay-per-view payoff comes. Yeah. Then they'll piss in the wind some more with everybody in the Money in the Bank match all getting in the ring at the same time fighting each other, and then we'll finally have the match. So we're gonna turn to not TNA wrestling because they re-aired a pay-per-view from last year. We're gonna go to Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor is. Thankfully, I can see it now on my own CW network, thanks to Sinclair. And then, of course, here coming up in the beginning of June, for those with Destination America, if you don't have CW or Sinclair broadcasting in your area on Saturday nights, you can catch it on Wednesday nights now on Destination America. We get ourselves 2 matches tonight. First one is Michael Elgin against Caprice Coleman. Matt, what'd you think about this match here? I thought it was a pretty good contest, but The only thing that kind of bothered me is Elgin really no-sold one of Coleman's main moves. Kind of made it look a little weak.
Yeah, I'm not a big Elgin fan. He's really, his character's just really bland to me. So I mean, he's solid in the ring, but I don't know. There's just something about him that I just don't care for. And when he wrestles, my eyes kind of glaze over, and I'm not really paying attention. So honestly, the quicker that match was over for me, the better it was. I mean, the match was fine for what it was. I'm not an Elgin fan.
It was a standard, and I'm completely new to Ring of Honor with the pay-per-view, and now I finally get to see the shows weekly here on TV. So we're gonna be talking Ring of Honor. We already planned on doing it before the Destination America announcement. Now we're definitely going to go full steam with Ring of Honor here. So they also teased a reformation of a tag team. Matt, do you have any kind of inside inklings? CNC Wrestle Factory, Cedric Alexander, Caprice Coleman, Future Shock with Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly were a couple of choices there.
Future Shock isn't getting back together because Kyle O'Reilly's too busy teaming up with Fish for Red Dragon. Mm-hmm. So I mean, if a team is getting back together, it's Coleman and them. It's not going to be Future Shock.
Now O'Reilly is in the. I thought it was kind of weird. I'm sitting there watching Ring of Honor, and the main event's starting 20 minutes into the show. But little did I know it was a 30-minute time limit match for
awesome.
Jay Lethal's. Well, he calls it the Ring of Honor Championship now. He took the television out of it, modified the belt. But Jay Lethal, accompanied by Truth Martini, taking on Kyle O'Reilly. Now, phenomenal match. You know, we can't really describe it in words, but
go out of your way to check it out. I believe it should be last week's episode. Should be on ROHWrestling.com now. That you can go and view the latest episode. Go out of your way to check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's proof that that time limit draws can still work in 2015.
Yeah. You know, we that was a lost art of the 80s, was the old time limit draw. Even before that, 70s probably was even bigger. This was a 30-minute Broadway that was just phenomenal. These two. Now, do you think this type of it seems like O'Reilly's kind of got the crowd with him. I think this type of match really elevates him. So do you think this pushes him more in the singles direction outside of Red Dragon?
No, I think long term they're going to keep him with Red Dragon. I don't want them to. I'd honestly rather him go out on his own or reform Future Shock because I'm not a big Bobby Fish fan. I like Kyle O'Reilly a lot. And he proved, you know, every reason why I like him on that match over the weekend. Mm-hmm. But I think he's going to stick with the tag division. But teased a title shot with him and Briscoe at the end of the show was really freaking cool.
Yeah, at the end of the show, well, apparently when you reach a time, is this kind of a Ring of Honor staple?
It's a Ring of Honor rule that if both competitors agree, they will extend the time limit draw by an additional 5 minutes.
Yep. So the crowd chanting 5 more minutes, and Kyle O'Reilly said, "I'm in for it." Jay Lethal seemed to be in on it, ready to go, but the crowd started chanting little negative at him.
They were chanting "Man Up," which is
Briscoe's
chant. And obviously, since Jay Lethal chooses to pretend that Briscoe does not exist, mm-hmm. He did not appreciate that and said, "I was about to say yes, 5 more minutes, but since mm-hmm. you want to direct that chant at me, it's not happening." It was an awesome heel move. You know, Lethal's the greatest right now.
I picked a great time to start my journey with Ring of Honor, just because I see a lot of the intricacies that are in with Ring of Honor. Obviously, the shaking of hands. You got somebody as such as a dirty heel as Jay Lethal, and obviously accompanied with Truth Martini, and they still, you know, code of honor, shake hands in the ring. The Broadways, the extension of the Broadway. phenomenal. But which was interesting. We'll get to the end of this match in just a moment. But I do have a question here for you, Matt. Do they tape in like one long shot and just piece things together for TV?
No, they tape when they tape TV. They tape. Is it 3 or is it 4? I think they tape 4 episodes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's kind of a marathon.
Basically,
it's really a lot to get through.
Because Jay Briscoe, basically, he looked like he was kind of fresh off of that tag team battle that the Briscoes had with War Machine,
which was the week before. It was done at the same. It was done at the same show.
So Jay Lethal says no to the 5 more minutes. Jay Briscoe comes out and says, "I will challenge you, Kyle O'Reilly, to 5 minutes." And he's going to put his Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship on the line. I'm like, this is my first Ring of Honor TV show. And I'm like, whoa, this is fucking cool. And I didn't even think that Jay Lethal was going to attack them both to screw it all up. But that's what Jay Lethal did.
Yeah, it was beautifully done. I
mean, obviously,
it was a great hour of pro wrestling. I don't think anybody, NXT and ROH have perfected the 1 hour wrestling broadcast right now. It's really good stuff.
Do you think they absorbed the 2 hours if TNA goes bye-bye?
Well, if they do, they're going to have to completely change their taping schedule.
And it'll probably cost more money.
That's something you're going to have to look at in the future. If that's going to be the case, they're going to be everything's going to be different for them.
Do you think they have the capacity to do so, Trevor?
I think they could, but honestly, I think 1 hour is the sweet spot for a wrestling TV show, in all honesty.
Yeah. Lucha Underground's that way. Global Force Wrestling better be that way because their roster is decent but not impressive.
The taping schedule for Global Force is a 13-episode season with 12 one-hour episodes and the finale being 2 hours. So that's not bad.
They're kind of going. That's right. They're going the season route, kind of like Lucha Underground, but
Correct.
just less episodes.
Yep.
Okay. Well, Ring of Honor is definitely in the forefront, and we did not expect that. We were going to talk Ring of Honor now, regardless, and especially if TNA is going to go away. But we'll still talk TNA as well, if time permits and content permits. Hopefully, the content gets a little better. It has kind of fallen off a little bit lately. And then, of course, airing a pay-per-view from last year really doesn't help you either. Let's end the show with our world-famous pay-per-view predictions. We have got 6 matches on the slate. If anything gets added last minute, we will go ahead and add that to our predictions. We'll figure out the pre-show things because, of course, Matt's a little butthurt that he lost the pre-show, and that does count against his record. But boys,
the only one who's butthurt is you guys. So that's cool by me, man. It's whatever.
Oh, brother, we'll see. We'll see what gets announced.
I will be the first to admit the odds of me doing this 3 pay-per-views in a row very difficult. Especially with the aspect of the chain. Those matches are always very difficult to predict. So I'm not at all confident that I'm going to escape the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view with another undefeated streak.
Well, this show will air on Thursday. We will give it to basically Friday afternoon, and then if nothing's been announced, then we just won't count that in our predictions. Let's kick it off with the Intercontinental title match. We got 6 men: R-Truth, Sheamus, King, Barrett, Ryback, Ziggler, and maybe Rusev. I don't know yet. This is for the Intercontinental Championship. I will kick off the prediction with this one. I was going to go Rusev, but with the recent photo of him in a cast today, I'm going to go with my initial gut feeling on this one, and I'm going to go with the guy they've been building up since his return, and that's Sheamus. Trevor, what do you think here?
I was kind of thinking Sheamus as well. in all honesty, because I was also thinking Rusev, but wasn't quite sure on Rusev. And I mean, honestly, a lot of the other guys in the match have had the title recently, like Dolph and I mean, nobody cares about Ryback. Dolph and Barrett have both had it recently. I could see them going with Sheamus for a little bit of a change, and they've been building him up, like you said.
Matt, who do you got?
Yeah, I also was very much hoping for a Rusev title win to try to to repair his character and get him moved up. Immediately could have been put in a feud with Ziggler over the title, and and they could have gone from there. But with his question mark looming over the match now, it just seems like the logical choice at this point is to put the title on Sheamus. Honestly, if I had my way, I would put it on the title. I would put it on Ryback.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how I don't know how much he's actually hurt. Working with those ribs right now after Bray Wyatt crushed them on Payback last month or 2 weeks ago. Hell, we can't even call it last month anymore. The pay-per-views are so close together. Yeah. Honestly, the wild card is who's the sixth guy going to be.
Mm-hmm.
We could all end up, picking Sheamus here, and we could, and then they can throw Bray Wyatt in the chamber and put the title on him. Which honestly, that wouldn't be a bad idea at all.
Honestly, I think they should just put Neville in the freaking chamber at this point.
Well, that's what I thought. That's what originally I thought he should have been in there over R-Truth.
I agree. Yeah.
Well, and then just take out R-Truth and put in Bo Dallas.
Yeah, but then you eliminate another match off the show.
Well, we could add another match.
Yeah, I guess we're all going to go with Sheamus. And honestly, I don't even feel good about that pick.
I have a gut feeling it's going to be Ryback just because he's never held a singles title.
I think he deserves it.
Yeah. Even if Bray Wyatt is in the match, I think he is still my Money in the Bank pick. So I wouldn't even pick him here.
Well, wait, you're picking Bray for Money in the Bank.
I am.
That's interesting.
I said that about a month ago, that Bray Wyatt was... Actually, I wrote an article on it, and Bray Wyatt is... I wrote an early predictions for Money in the Bank winner, and Ryback was my number one guy there. So we all got Sheamus, and it makes sense, but we'll have to see what happens. It's the Chamber. Anything can happen. The other Chamber match, 6 tag teams in this one. Los bore me the fuck to tears. Los Matadores, The Ascension, Lucha Dragons, Kid and Cesaro, New Day, Prime Time Players. Trevor, who do you got in the tag team Elimination Chamber title match?
Obviously, Los Matadores are going to win this match.
Olé!
They have no chance in hell of ever winning a match.
I'd have dropped off this podcast right now.
No, it's definitely not going to be them. It's very much between New Day and Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. Honestly, I don't think it's time to take it off New Day yet. I'm going to go with New Day.
Matt?
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot more money to be made with the New Day's tag title reign, and I think it's way too early to take it off of them. And to weasel your way out of Elimination Chamber with the titles, so you can brag about how you beat 5 teams and the power of positivity brought you this Elimination Chamber win. There's too much gold lines to work with post that match for New Day not to retain the titles on Sunday.
Yeah, I could see an outside shot of the Primetime Players winning it just because they've featured him so much and they've been getting good pops. But I think we need to see a lot more of them in the ring before they get the titles. Lucha Dragons, it's too soon. Ascension's too soon. Matadores, just get rid of them. I still wish Harper and Rowan would have beat the shit out of them. That might be our kickoff match, Harper and Rowan against the Mega Powers. Yeah, that might be our kickoff match because those are the only 2 tag teams not in this match. I, too, am going to go New Day, so we agree on the second straight match just because they're going to weasel their way out of the Chamber. There's going to be
something's going to happen, yeah.
Yeah. There is going to be some way that that they do it. Kind of funny on the graphic. All three guys are holding the title on the graphic there. By the way,
maybe they're gonna try to weasel their way into all of them being in the chamber.
Yeah,
they'll figure out a way to. Yeah, that would be
the Freebird rule because they got to defend it against 5 teams or something like that. Neville and Bo Dallas. This is a grudge match, a little bit a historic NXT rivalry where Bo Dallas was the longest reigning NXT champion until Neville knocked him off at a takeover special. Matt, who do you got in this little match that's gonna have a lot of NXT chants in it?
This should be an obvious no-brainer, and there's no way that Bo Dallas is beating Neville. The crowd does not see anything in Bo Dallas right now, and for him to beat Neville would cut the legs out of Neville so badly that he would get lost in mid-card hell for the next couple of months if he was to lose to Bo. I truly think this was nothing more than a short shot feud to give Neville another win and some more momentum. So I'm definitely going with Neville to get the win here.
Yeah, I agree. Neville's going to win this match. I think Neville's clearly going to be in Money in the Bank. They would be fucking stupid if they don't put Neville in Money in the Bank.
Dude, you got to do it.
So obviously the moment I could if Money in the Bank wasn't in 2 weeks, I would pick Bo Dallas just to stretch the feud out and reestablish Bo Dallas because Bo Dallas deserves to be established in this roster, but he still has not gained any traction yet. If Money in the Bank was not 2 weeks from Elimination Chamber, yes, but no, Neville's going to win. Trevor?
One, they should put Bo Dallas in New Day.
Yes!
Because it's the power of positivity. I mean, it just makes fucking sense. Just fucking do it. Exactly. But other than that, yeah, I pretty much agree with what you guys said. I'm pretty sure Neville's going to win. Like, I wish Bo Dallas would so that they could continue a feud and hopefully build up Bo Dallas a little bit more, but I don't think that's going to happen. So it's totally going to be Neville.
Yeah, Bo Dallas, again, he's younger than a lot of the other guys we talk about, and so a lot of time for him to grow, and he's not going anywhere. It's kind of weird, you know. When he had the beard, he kind of looked like he was going to fit in with his brother Bray, and then and all of a sudden he shaved. I think people were starting to talk. And they're like, oh, we can't have people talking. We got to, Bo, you got to shave. We're not going that direction yet. Triple threat for the ladies, the Divas Championship. Nikki Bella, Paige, Naomi. This one's tricky. I have a gut feeling it's time to get the belt off of Nikki. She's been a great champion. I truly think that turning Naomi heel, giving her Tamina, in the WWE's eyes, they're going to put the belt on her here at Elimination Chamber. Trevor, what do you think?
I think, yeah, I agree with you, actually. I think it's about time. I mean, they probably should have just done it already, but I think they're just going to put the belt on Naomi. Because at this point, I mean, Paige has had the belt. Nikki's had it for a while. Why not try with someone new, you know?
Yeah, and Paige has had it twice, so...
Yeah, so... I could see that happening. I could even see it where Naomi doesn't even pin Nikki for it. She pins Paige.
Well, and that clearly sets up our Money in the Bank championship match for the Divas title, too. So, Matt, who is your prediction?
We are finally different.
Oh, my God!
We're different. I am picking Nikki Bella to retain. And here's why. Over the past couple weeks, on Twitter, she's started to mention the number of days that she's held the Divas Championship. And she's starting to tread onto the Maurice AJ Lee territory. And I would think WWE, and you know, we all know how petty WWE is. Yeah. I could totally see them wanting to take the longest Divas Championship reign away from AJ and giving it to Nikki just because she's already this close. You hold it for another month, a month and a half, and she's going to break AJ's record. So
it's your total Divas queen.
Yeah. So I think Nikki retains, because I think they're going to give her. I think they're going to take the reign away from AJ and give it to Nikki.
It's a good point. Very solid point, and very convincing point. Definitely well within the bounds of reality there. So we'll have to see that. Finally, we disagree on something. We couldn't go the whole pay-per-view without agreeing on it, could we?
I don't know. We'll see how we go for the rest of the show.
Because I think the next two matches we're going to fully agree on. Or are we?
Dun.
Champion versus champion. NXT champion Kevin Owens faces John Cena, the United States champion. There are no titles on the line. This is just a title for you. The champion versus champion is title in word only. Trevor, who do you think comes out on top with this one?
This is tough. It's real tough. I would love to see them have Kevin Owens go over. That's what I would love to see. I think it's going to be highly competitive. I think it's going to be close, but I think Cena's going to win. But he might end up winning by disqualification as well. So it's kind of hard to say, but I think Cena's going to win.
That's still a win. Matt?
Yeah, I'm just like Trevor. I really want to see Kevin Owens win this match, but I have a lot of trust issues in believing that WWE will do the right thing and pull the trigger. If Cena has to win, I'd like to see him win by a count out or a disqualification. Maybe they bring out Samoa Joe and get him involved and him cost Owens the match against Cena or something like that. But man, I would love to see Owens beat Cena, but WWE has not made me a believer in that. I have to go Cena.
Yeah, I have a gut feeling Kevin Owens is going to win. I have a gut feeling.
Are you putting your vote down for Mr. KO?
NXT was basically TNA to Monday Night Raw for the longest time. There was no peep, no mention, no nothing of NXT. Then you get Neville comes up. You get, like Big E came up from NXT, but it really wasn't. This is an NXT graduate. This was basically the heavy for Dolph Ziggler, who was in a pretty main event programs at the time. So they didn't even touch NXT. But now NXT Takeover was vigorously promoted on the Monday Night Raw beforehand. NXT is mentioned constantly now with Neville, Lucha Dragons, Ascension, and they even mention the Seth Rollins as the first NXT champion ever. So there are a lot of things that have happened recently that have never happened before with NXT, which leads you to believe that their dominant champion could go over to John Cena. Oh, wait, it's John Cena. Never mind. John Cena wins.
Wow, you really went through that entire diatribe just to pick for John Cena.
Yes.
Dude, you're the worst. Like, you're, for real, you're the worst.
You almost had me convinced on Kevin Owens, and I was like, fuck, maybe I should have picked him.
How cool would it be
if Vince was pooping in diapers right now and not running the show? It definitely would be. But
how cool would it be if they redid the Nexus?
Oh, it'd be amazing.
I'm not talking about naming them the Nexus or whatever. But how cool would it be if a group of NXT guys came out with Owens and they just beat the piss out of John Cena?
It'd be epic, but I think you need Hideo Itami in that group, and he's not going to be there. So
yeah, just a man can dream. How cool would be.
Any kind of faction like that has to include Owens, Itami. Doesn't have to include Zayn because he is way too babyface. But Finn Balor can be a heel. Itami can be a heel. Breeze is probably maybe your fifth. Have a 5-guy kind of ordeal there, or even Baron Corbin. I mean, he's not ready yet, but we're talking down the line if they do it. Maybe have kind of a heavy in that group, and obviously Owens be the ringleader, or Balor could be the ringleader. He created the Bullet Club, which I hope Balor recreates to some extent in the WWE down the future. That would be just fucking epic.
WWE did trademark the Balor Club, so we'll see what they end up using it or not. But they definitely have the rights to use it if they choose to.
I will not be completely surprised that if Owens wins, but history just there's 10 years of history.
Let's put it this way: this Sunday we can all be wrong, and we can all be happy as fuck for being wrong.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I had you guys believing I was picking Owens because of those reasons, and those reasons are legit. NXT was basically TNA back.
Well, here's the difference: is that NXT now makes them money.
Yep.
With their touring and everything, and they see how well that's doing on tour, and I think that's what it comes down to. It's like, oh well, NXT is a viable brand that will actually make us money, so maybe we should push it more.
They made $50 on this show alone last Wednesday, so with Matt and I running to pre-order the Samoa Joe shirt.
Dude, that shirt sold buckets.
It did.
I think this happened after we went off the air last week. Before the night was over last Wednesday night, they had sold out of medium, large, XL, and 2XL. Within like 3 hours of that shirt being on WWE Shop. And that's incredible.
That's insane, yeah.
Yeah, we're right when we went off the air last week, we checked.
And it shows that Samoa Joe's viable.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Main event time, which this will be fun. Seth Rollins against Dean Ambrose in the main event for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Trevor, who do you got in the main event of the evening?
It's going to be Rollins. I mean, there's no doubt that it's going to be Rollins. I mean, as much as I would love to see Dean Ambrose get the title, I don't think this is the end of Rollins' reign yet. I think he needs to have the belt a lot longer, at least till SummerSlam, maybe longer than that, depending on who they build up between now and then and how they build it up. It really just depends on what they're going to do with Lesnar and that, I guess. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be Rollins.
Matt?
I agree with Trevor. I think Seth Rollins retains. However, with 2 weeks between Elimination Chamber and Money in the Bank, if you want to have a reason why Dean Ambrose isn't in the Money in the Bank ladder match, you shock the world, you put the title on him in Elimination Chamber, and he drops it back to Rollins in 2 weeks at Money in the Bank. I think.
But you're going.
No,
you're going Rollins.
I'm going Rollins, but I'm saying they could, do something amazing, and do a 2 week title reign with Ambrose to test the waters and see how it works. Because if you look back at a lot of Money in the Bank title reigns, they were only 2 to 3 weeks before the title was taken right back off of them anyway. So,
that's true.
So I mean, why the hell not run a 2 week test with Ambrose, and you can put the title right back on Rollins in some kind of screwy finish at Money in the Bank, and if anything, it's going to get people talking for 2 weeks because no one.
They kind of need that too, in all honesty.
Yeah, because right now everybody's talking, and they're not talking about WWE. They're talking about Ring of Honor. They're talking about TNA. They're talking about NXT. But really, no one's talking about the main brand WWE right now. So they could use something. You could have had the network for free, and you could have seen Dean Ambrose become the WWE Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, I mean they need a shot in the arm. They really do.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going with my heart over my head because it's well known that Dean Ambrose has been my favorite wrestler ever since he debuted facing off against Mick Foley before WrestleMania.
Is this going to be another swerve?
At an event. there is no wrestler that is hotter in the card right now, in the pops they say, as Dean Ambrose. He has surpassed Roman Reigns in favor by the WWE, I believe. I truly believe that right now, that he has surpassed Roman Reigns in terms of favoritism at this point in the year.
I don't believe that.
The authority is getting stale. They do need to do something, and Dean Ambrose is my pick to win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Holy shit.
I mean, as much as I would like to see it happen, I just don't see it happen.
Trevor, do you want to ask JB if he likes being wrong?
Honestly, I thought we were going to see another edition of Jay Brusso there. But
yeah,
swerve.
But
I had you guys on a string, didn't I? With the
I was like, damn, he's really gonna do it. He's really gonna cast a vote for Kevin Owens.
And then I had you guys on a string again, didn't I? With the main event.
I kind of thought you might swerve it, but he didn't quite have me on that one.
No, he didn't.
Didn't have you at hello?
He didn't have me at that one like he did the Cena Owens match.
I didn't have you at hello, huh? Well, that's going to do it for Lost in the Midcard episode, I think 17. Gal, we're doing so many of these, boys, I'm losing count.
We're getting it
I think
done.
It's 17. I think it's 17. And we will be back with a Elimination Chamber special post-reaction to the pay-per-view. Trevor, are you going to be able to make it on Sunday?
I don't know, because I don't know where I'm watching Elimination Chamber currently.
All right. Well, Trevor will be Trevor always welcome to come on for the reaction. Figured if he's here for the predictions, he might as well be here to rub it in Matt's face when he's right.
Well, look.
Let me tell you something.
You want to sit there and run your mouth, JB. At the end,
here comes a promo from Raw. I am Showtime.
At the end of the day, me and him only picked one match different.
That's
Other than
true.
that, me and Trevor were absolutely on common ground for this entire event.
And I think 2 straight pay-per-views before this, Trevor and I picked everything the same. At least, definitely, Payback, we had the exact same predictions. But yeah, this was kind of I don't know. I think honestly we're gonna probably be wrong on both Elimination Chamber matches. It seems obvious, but I have a gut feeling we're wrong, and it's not bad being wrong because that makes it a little
not. It's nice.
Little
it's
more
nice
enjoyable.
To be surprised.
It's
honestly,
not as predictable that way.
And I think it would be nice.
It's also nice to talk shit.
I think it would be nice for Ryback to walk out of the Elimination Chamber with the title. I
agree.
really do. I feel they really dropped the ball with him, skipping over the middle title and jumping him right into the WWE title picture with Punk. And I think they could do a lot of good with him long term by putting the Intercontinental title on him for a couple months and let him run with it. So I mean, I would love to be wrong. I honestly, I don't like Sheamus as this character. It's really annoying. The whole character is really annoying to me.
It doesn't have the same pop as when he came from ECW and just was tearing through people.
That badass Sheamus, because this guy isn't badass Sheamus. This guy is pussified Sheamus. He acts like he's a badass, and as soon as anybody steps up and challenges him, he pussies out. You know, the Sheamus that came from ECW was an ass kicker, and you know he didn't back down from anybody, and he just beat everybody's ass. I'm not liking this heel Sheamus. I think they're doing him a disservice.
That's
and
what
honestly,
WWE does with every heel. They make them pussyfoot heels, and
that's why Brock Lesnar. That's why Brock Lesnar was amazing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's why he's going to be a face at SummerSlam.
Yeah, when he comes back, he's going to be a good guy.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, it's going to be. I think it's going to be him and Rollins in the end at SummerSlam. So. That's
why a 2-week title reign for Ambrose couldn't hurt. Rollins could have the title right back in time for Brock to come back, and nothing would be hurt at all. It would just be would be a nice shot in the arm for WWE to get some eyeballs and attention on the product for a couple of weeks.
It'll definitely get some buzz if they go that way, for sure.
Yeah.
And what I feel is I think something hokey will probably happen at Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
they
screw Ambrose and put the title back on Rollins.
No, I actually think that Ambrose will keep it to July's pay-per-view and then give it up.
See, I think if Ambrose wins the title at all, it's going to be a 2-week title reign. And honestly, it's nothing more than WWE's reasoning to keep him out of the Money in the Bank ladder match, so they can be like, fans can't complain that Ambrose isn't involved because they want somebody else to have the briefcase. Well, he can't be involved right now because he's the champion.
Yeah, well, my plan for it is I would love him to be the Money in the Bank winner because
I would love Crazy Dean walking around with the briefcase. I think it would be fantastic.
And that'll happen probably sometime in the next 4 years. But no, my gut is that something hokey happens at Money in the Bank. Ambrose keeps the title, but they get a rematch at whatever the July pay-per-view is. Is that Battleground already or?
Sure. One of those.
We can't wait till Summerfest pay-per-view.
July's pay-per-view. It's called The Waste of a Show. Yeah, it's Battleground.
That should be called Summerfest, not what Piven called SummerSlam a few years ago. But no, I think Ambrose drops the title July's pay-per-view, invokes his rematch on Raw, gets screwed, and then at the end of Raw, after that July pay-per-view is when Brock Lesnar returns.
I have a request to WWE. They need to scrap Battleground altogether, put Hell in a Cell in its place, and turn October's pay-per-view into Halloween Havoc. That's I'm just throwing it out there. Bring back Halloween Havoc.
Trevor, do you have any last thoughts with everything? Ring of Honor, WWE, TNA, anything before we say goodbye?
Everybody should go subscribe to NJPW World and watch New Japan.
There you go. We're gonna have to have Trevor on to give us a little New Japan report sometime here, possibly in the near future. Matt, any last words before we drive into the Elimination Chamber?
I'm just hoping for a good show this weekend, and I hope the upward trend that seems to be going on in the world of professional wrestling continues to go up. And I wish nothing but the best for Ring of Honor, TNA, WWE. Every single company is scratching and clawing their way up the mountain right now, because the better each company is doing, it's better for everybody. So while we can all celebrate Ring of Honor's rise to prominence right now, let's not hope to condemn the end of TNA. I want wrestling fans to kind of keep that in perspective going forward in the months to come.
Yeah, and Steve Austin says this all the time. It's always good to have another business out there. It's always good to have as many wrestlers employed that can show their craft to the world, and it is never a bad thing. And did confirm July is Battleground, which is going to be the redheaded stepchild to SummerSlam, basically. But that'll come in July. We still have a couple of kick-ass pay-per-views to get to before that. For Trevor and Matt, this is Jeremy. This has been Lost in the Midcard episode 17, and we will be back with you on Monday with our reaction to Elimination Chamber. Thank you for tuning in.